On May 12, 2005, Microsoft shared the next generation of gaming on MTV for the world to see, showing everyone what the future of gaming really was. Wireless controllers, online multiplayer, HD graphics, and the promises of the greatest titles we will have ever seen, all for a competitive price. Dropping that holiday season with some killer titles, the Xbox 360 was only at the beginning of its insane career. It had its ups and it had its downs, but for many gamers, it was the choice of console, creating loyal fans, maybe even too loyal sometimes. Today we are going to discuss some of my favorite 360 titles and games that I just think you need to check out, whether a first-time 360 owner, looking for some retro games to play on that Series X, or even just to remember the good old days. Here's 10 games that I think you need to play on the Xbox 360. Launching day one with the console was a continuation of one of the greatest arcade sports franchises on the Xbox console, Amped. Amped 3 just turned up the weird knob and set the dial to chaos. Creative storytelling, some great comedy, and over-the-top freestyle gameplay make this a truly fun experience. The game takes you on a journey to becoming a snowboarding legend, all while really only wanting to catch a vacation with your friends. You'll meet stars and random NPCs all the way through the game as they challenge you to complete certain tricks, or even just pass through all the rings before that hippie over there laughs at you. Create a completely custom character, and then enjoy some of these side missions. Photography, paparazzi, magazine shoots, and much more. There is plenty of money to be made and mountains to conquer, 7 in total, some larger and more challenging than others. Just travel the world and impress the locals, unlock those tricks, clothing, and new boards, along with some awesome styles, which is how you're going to impress those locals out there. There is so much to do in this free-roaming, downhill, powder-shredding good time, and before I forget, you early 2000s punk and emo fans, you're gonna love this soundtrack.
Drop that bass.
Just a couple weeks after the release of the 360 came another exclusive that would never be forgotten. In fact, Perfect Dark Zero is easier to play than ever for Xbox One and Series X owners, being part of Rare Replay and included, well, for the time being at least, in Game Pass. The launch title follows its predecessor, also a launch title for the original Xbox console release, and telling a story of bounty hunter Jonah Dark and her father. Try and save the world, your father, and maybe a bit of revenge in this thrilling shooter. Ducking, rolling, cover. The aiming mechanic is smooth, with great switching from first person to third person when in cover, something that we definitely take for granted today. Limited inventory and weapon slots mean you must think carefully about the mission ahead and your approach. And for a launch title, the graphics are wonderful, truly showing new users what the system was capable of and letting them only dream of what was to come. Don't leave the exclusive behind, if nothing else for being one of the original Rare and Microsoft exclusives. Trust me when I say there aren't too many bad Rare games. Dead or Alive 4 launched late December of 2005, bringing one of the most popular fighting franchises to the next generation. Including new character models, physics, and arenas, players battle with the iconic cast for the $1 million prize at the end of the 4th Dead or Alive tournament. Essentially following the gameplay loop from the previous game, you will fight in 8 stages in a story mode through each playable character's eyes. Learn the secrets of the tournament through fantastically directed cutscenes with wonderful choices for cutscene music. The true fun though is in the fighting mechanics. Smooth controls with great variety in moves between each character make for a challenging yet rewarding system that everyone can enjoy and master. as well as unlockable characters and outfits that are still a major influence in the game, creating a bit of replayability. There is nothing like finally unlocking Spartan 458 and getting to finally kick Jinfu's face in with that ridiculous boot. Oh, yeah, did I mention that Microsoft had Team Ninja include a Spartan? In fact, this is the first inclusion of a Spartan other than Master Chief in any other video game. Also new to the team are Elliot, Kokoro, and a new wrestler luchadora, La Mariposa, to bring a third wrestler to the Fontina and Bass combo. Several modes are included as usual, such as Time Attack, Survival, and Team Battle. Also included is online play features, allowing you to challenge the great opponents you will find online, something that is still challenging for me to compete in today. Such good competition out there. And with crazy production hours trying to meet the 360 launch and inevitably deciding that the game will be better with a little bit more time, the developers would probably still be very happy to see you enjoying their hard work. Plus, you don't have to pay to unlock the outfits in this one. I was a little too young when my brother showed me this next title, but once I picked up Tenchu Z, I was never going to put it down. There isn't much better than creating your own ninja and training him to become the most fearsome warrior in all of Agawara. Try and end the war before it starts by assassinating generals and spies from the neighboring country. Protect your land and return the lost artifacts that were stolen by the Agawara. Traveling by foot over rooftops and dropping down to get the sneakiest of kills is super satisfying in this one. It's a true predecessor to games like Assassin's Creed and Dishonored. Earn gold through 50 missions and quests, allowing you to purchase new abilities and weapons, and even clothing. With enemy AI being improved as well from the last game, now hearing your footsteps or even the smell of you will start an investigation. How you approach the fight is up to you in this one. Your only goal is to thwart the enemy nation before they can attack. Can you defend the Azuma Ninja clan? Originally an Xbox exclusive, Lost Planet is a sci-fi shooter taking place on a cold planet after humanity, did what we do best and destroyed planet Earth. Help colonize this frozen Earth-like planet and defend yourself against the Akrit, an alien species on Eden 3. Well, I guess technically you are the alien, so... wow, people really do suck. The species does like to attack though, so defend yourself mercilessly through either the epic mech suits in the game, or outside your suit where you get access to some fun weapons and a grappling gun to help you get around. The game did have pretty mixed reviews upon its launch, but it was received by its players rather well, getting a couple sequels and even a movie adaptation that unfortunately never saw the light of day. So give this one a shot and remember some of that beautiful 2006 sci-fi action. From developer Bizarre Creations comes another Microsoft Games studio title, Project Gotham Racing 4. An arcade racing series where we race not only cars but bikes right alongside them. That's some serious dangerous racing right there. 10 locations from Tokyo to London to Quebec. It even includes tracks from past titles. Drift around tight turns and bang around your opponents as you fight for first position. So many vehicles to unlock, in fact over 130. Start from stock streetcars and climb the ladder all the way to some seriously powerful supercars. This game goes from a slow drift around a corner to lightning fast, tight cornering, giving you multiple different driving styles to experience. The bike racing is one of my favorite parts as well. I find most bike racing games to fit into the simulation category more, whereas here, hit that wall and it'll slow you down instead of launching you across the state line. On major display here, and one of the major selling points at launch, is the weather system. Weather shifting from lap to lap, the physics of the driving will change with the weather. I don't know if the option is still there, but back in the good old days, you could even sync it with live weather data. And on a rainy day, play a rainy track. All in all, this game is a great arcade racer with a great sense of speed and always living just on the verge of losing control. Oh, Peter. Peter Molyneux has helped develop many amazing franchises, but my personal favorite still has to be Fable, which is why Fable II is ending up right here on this list. It was my personal first to this series, only going back to the first after beating this title. In Fable 2, you play as Sparrow, a young boy or girl in the kingdom of Albion, destined for greatness. You set off on a journey to save the kingdom, rise from nothing, a young man or girl who's had a rough beginning, all the way up to a family who buys and sells real estate. And why stop there? Become a king or a queen. No one shall stop you. Fable 2 brings back the good versus evil character development. Through your decisions and actions throughout the game, morph the looks and the reception of your character. Be a goody-goody two-shoe, or become the ruthless king who cares not for his people but for his money. Tisk tisk. Bring along your trusted canine companion and unlock the mysteries of your ever-changing journey through Albion and the Great Spire. Forza Motorsport 3 is the second in the series on the Xbox 360, but it brought it in terms of advancing car physics both on the track and under the hood, adding stock cars to the crazy lineup from Forza 2, as well as allowing for far more upgrades and advanced configuration of cars. Also having a 2GB install disk of more cars and tracks, there was so much content in this beautiful racing simulator. In fact, in my opinion, the Turn 10 team has one of the most graphically impressive games on the 360 here, as well as the most immersive driving game with the inclusion of the in-car camera for the first time. As well for the first time is an included single-player career mode. Compete in 200 different events to unlock hundreds of cars and parts. All cars and tracks in the game are photorealistic licensed products and places, as they still are in today's games, but if you are looking for the Xbox 360 classic Forza title, this title, and Forza Horizon if you are more of an arcade racer, are the picks. If we're going to talk about the 360, then we have to mention the introduction of Kinect, a camera that tracks your motion and allows you to use your body as the controller. My favorite title in the Kinect lineup is going to have to be, maybe not my favorite title, but one of the best Kinect required titles that I've played is Sonic Freeriders. It lacks content and uses the Kinect to control the board that can be, well, fun. But with that out of the way, I honestly did not mind this game at all. It's a fun game and a follow-up to Freeriders Zero Gravity. The Eggman himself puts on a disguise and announces the next Grand Prix. So, let's race! A cast of characters available to play, collect rings to level up, and unlock power-ups to get through the race, do tricks, collect rings, and have fun. Like most kart racers, the true fun is in multiplayer. I would say grab your friend and fire up that split screen action as you compete side by side. There are sure to be plenty of laughs. If you are looking for a Kinect title to test out your Kinect, I think once you have mastered the controls, you'll have a blast. Again, one of the first, in fact, a launch title for the Kinect. You gotta give it some breathing room. I believe that the first game I played from Square Enix is Deus Ex: Human Revolution, a title that gave me a surprising amount of game time. Here is a story that can make you think, all while giving you plenty of different paths to take. Be a silent killer, or come in blazing. You choose. even be a pacifist, although you're crazy if you try unless you have the director's cut. This prequel to the original games show you how the world became what it is. You play as Adam Jensen, a security guard at Seraph Industries, when a team attacks the building, injuring you and stealing a very, very special woman to Adam. Poor Adam not only loses love, but to save his life, they must go against his wishes and augment his body. Now, a super weapon, Adam will bring back his woman alive. He will beat the bad guys at their game, and you can't stop him. Use your body as a weapon with upgrades to strength or jump distance, even break through walls. Or focus on stealth with camouflage and silent footsteps. Or maybe you're more of a hacker. Learn how to hack into every computer in China with the right brain augmentation. As I said, it's up to you to decide. The multiple options also make replaying the game once or twice at least enticing. Find new secret passageways that weren't available with the previous augmentations, or even find another of the many ways to take down the game's mini-bosses. I mentioned before that if you have the director's cut, they even added the ability to take them down without killing them, to the delight of Deus Ex speedrunners everywhere. I love this game. If I were you, I'd be playing this thrilling tall tale of AI and the future of augmentation at least once on my shiny new Xbox 360. Also, it's backwards compatible, so I suppose you could play it on your shiny Series X, but you know, just enjoy the damn game. And that was 10. I think I did my math right. 10 games you need to play on the Xbox 360. Still my favorite console and my first. Did you enjoy any of these games growing up? What were your favorite on this list? Do you have any that I need to add to this list? Let's discuss some of that below. Plus, if you haven't, please subscribe as we have new videos releasing every week. And lastly, check out this list of 10 GameCube games our friend Scumbag Steve recommends. See you later, my friends.